So I think this room needs a little bit of energy. Would you agree? It's like, look, this has been an interesting tech support morning. So would you stand up where you are, please? And I'm used to singing without a mic, so this is going to be fine. And if at some point you feel like you want to move closer to your better, that's great too. So this song is called Feet on the Ground. And for me, it's partly about, ask yourself, do you ever feel like you're learning these spiritual principles, but am I really fully incorporating them? Am I really embodying them? Am I really standing in them fully? So it's a little bit about that. The words are super simple. Put your feet on the ground, feet on the ground. And then the second part, be in my heart and have connection. Those are two great messages, be grounded and make a connection from our heart. So what I want you to do is sing with me on that easy part, and let's start with you rocking to your right and clap, to your left and clap, to your right, clap. We're moving our bodies already, it's good. So. Put your feet on the ground, 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 feet on the ground. In my heart have connection, in my heart have connection, in my heart have connection, in my heart, yes, in my heart have connection, in my heart have connection, in my heart have connection, in my heart. Put your feet on the ground, feet on the ground, feet on the ground, feet on the ground. Feet on the ground, feet on the ground, feet on the ground, feet on the ground. Part one, we're going to part two. What are we singing about? Be in my heart and have connection. If I see an even number of people out there, I want you to find a partner, keep laughing, go stand in front of somebody, if I have to move. Turn your body, looking in their eyes, look in their eyes, let's sing it. Feet on the ground, 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 feet on the ground. Feet on the ground, feet on the ground. In my heart, have connection. In my heart, in my heart, have connection. In my heart, yes. In my heart, have connection. In my heart, have connection. In my heart, have connection. In my heart. Put your feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. Put your feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. I put my feet on the ground. I'm feeling hard.
Now, isn't that the way to start? Wakes you up. So today is Mother's Day, and we're going to move over to the daily word affirmation. And it is for May 12th. I honor and bless the world's mothers. So could you share with me in that statement?
I honor and bless the world's mothers.
That means all mothers. All mothers, pet mothers, good foster mothers, mothers that have passed. And the daily word says, today I offer a blessing of gratitude for the loving, nurturing spirit of mothers. I bless my mother and those who have shared a mother's love by supporting me throughout my life. I think of the many ways they have been present for me over the years with unconditional acceptance and love. I envision all the mothers, grandmothers, and caregivers in out the world, surrounded by love and light. For those in my life, I take time to express my appreciation with words, gifts, and time together. To mothers-to-be, I prayerfully affirm health and ever-deepening joy. To mothers no longer in the world, I hold them in loving prayer and hold thoughts of joy and gratitude. I bless their souls' ongoing journeys, knowing bonds of love keeps their memories alive. And let's just say that affirmation again. I'll say it first. I honor and bless the world's mothers.
I honor and bless the world's mothers.
And if I can invite Becky up for the statement of inclusion. And do you know what, my heart?
Pretty much.
Good job, because
It's not.
yeah.
Good morning. At Unity of Beaverton, we love, honor, and care for our planet by committing to the stewardship of our living earth. And we love, honor, and welcome people of every age, ethnicity, culture, lifestyle, orientation. We honor the many paths to God, many names for God, and many ways to worship. We know that God's love exists equally by us on our spiritual path. And we welcome you today as we gather to affirm and celebrate our unity and our oneness with each other and with God. We pause for a moment of silence to embrace in prayer all spiritual groups, every faith denomination. Dear God, we give thanks for our ever-growing awareness and expression of the truth of our spiritual.
Okay, it's not on here, but it's time for prayer effect. Let's take a moment and let you come up. Now, the time for prayers and gratitude is that time that you can share with your spiritual community something that you're grateful for or a prayer request. And as you make that request, we'd like to associate it with an attribute of God, as far as healing, love, peace. But you can't come up with anything, it's okay, basically. But what you do want to do is ask, after you've said your statements, I ask you, my spiritual family, to hold this light with me. And the congregation will return and say, yes, we hold this light with you. So I would like to invite anyone who would like to come up and share a prayer of gratitude today.
I'll start.
Okay, I'm going to. Usually there's about 4 or 5.
Lord, lighten this can. Release the candles.
This is Charley.
In gratitude for the many mothers and fathers, my own mother lived to be 106 and remained in good health all the way up to 105. So the power of whatever it was in her, that spirit continues to live. I'm so grateful. So I ask you, my spiritual family, hold this.
Yes, we hold this fight.
My name is Denise, and my mother as well. And her name was Marion, and my son just a year-old who's named Marion. So that was certainly a blessing. My prayer today is for peace throughout the world. wherever live, I ask you, and I ask you, my spiritual family, hold this light.
Yes, we hold this light.
My name is Donna. My prayer today is for three things. One, Mike still in the hospital and hoping to get transferred for some treatment at OHSU. So to keep prayers for Mike. And, the second is for the sound system. And we did that working tonight. We forgot what the third thing was. So we'll be okay. I ask you, my spiritual community, right?
Yes, we hold this light with you. There is no light. I'm sorry, y'all on Zoom. We have no sound system today, so we're trying to speak as loud as we can so you can hear us. Maybe we can bring that closer in a moment. Okay, gratitude. That sidetracks me. So one of the things I'm very grateful for is, oh, I know what I was going to say. As you see, we're having a little bit of a challenge today. And so we have sound issues. Also, as far as having our bulletins ready, because we lost Julie Applegate at this point because she's retired. So I'm grateful for the volunteers that are going to show up to support this community. And I was extremely grateful to see Aki here today because I missed you last week and I'm going, oh no, I want to talk to you. So I'm grateful for you today. So I ask my spiritual community to hold this light with me.
Yes, we hold this light with you.
Anyone else like to light a candle? Okay. This final candle, which I'm going to pull out of the top right now. We light this final candle for prayer itself. Any prayers that you may still hold in your heart. And we know that as we affirm, so we receive. So I ask you, my spiritual community, to hold this.
Yes, we hold this light.
And now it's that time that we can invite Charley Thweatt back here and give her more hand.
Try moving this a little.
Well, here we are. Life is doing what's doing. Hey,
Hey,
that's a good one. I wanted to do a song to lead us into time of meditation. So it's very simple. You can add your voice when you get it. And then the right music will rise, it'll fall, we'll just go into a little time of silence. Just kind of be in the silence. I'll lead a little guided meditation at the end of that. Okay, so super simple, 7 words. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. For me, this is that inner voice calling me to stillness, to know the I am in that stillness. So let me invite you to close your eyes. Morning, Zoom people.
Get that close to it.
I may as well.
Yeah.
Let your eyes close. Let's take a deep breath in together. Let's come into that place in your center. Another deep breath in. Be still and know I am God. So join me. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. Sing a harmony if you want to. Be still and know I am God. 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 Be still and know I am Be still and know I am Be still and know I am God. Be still and know I am God. In the stillness. In the stillness. In the stillness, you know the I am. And then you can take that into the rest of your world. This is why we stop. Be still and know I am. Be still and know that place of peace, the Christ within, the God self. Be still, know the I am, the Spirit you are. When you touch that place, you can bring it to everything. You look out your eyes into this world, you look from that peace, that spirit self, that place of the I am. And as you look out into your world, it doesn't matter so much what you're looking at, it's where you're looking from. It doesn't matter so much what you're looking at, as where you're looking from. And you look from peace. You look from the I am. And that becomes your world. Be still and know I am. Ah. And your world has changed. You are that peace. You always were. So it is, and so we are. Amen. Sailing into nothing, sailing into space, sailing into every face I face. Sailing into my destiny, where my future meets my past. Knowing that the soul of me will last to the last. Sing with me, sailing. Sailing into nothing, into nothing. Sailing, sailing into space, into space. Sailing, sailing into everything I fix, into everything I fix. Where my future meets my past. Knowing that the soul of me will last to the last. See? Sailing. I'm sailing. I'm sailing. I'm sailing. Okay. Let's see. Well, I'm gonna live down here. Grab my notes and such. Well, happy Mother's Day. Who still has a mom alive? I mean, we're kind of getting to that age where it's not happening. My mom passed 10 years ago, so she's up in heaven blessing me. And you know, I'm just curious, how many of you, when a butterfly goes by, it's your mom? That's true for me and my wife. So, Mom. Anyway, it seems to be a symbol for us. And I was on the phone with Heidi this morning, and I grew up with a mom who loved gardenias. And we had this beautiful gardenia bush out the side door on this little patio we could see from the living room. And when I see a gardenia, I think of my mom. So we bought a gardenia bush to put by the front door, and it had lots of buds on it. It was really fun, like a year ago. And then since it's just sat there and done nothing. It seems to get thinner and thinner. And like, what are we doing wrong? And this morning on Mother's Day, a bud showed up.
Butterfly snake.
Sweet. So I also just sent a happy Mother's Day to Heidi from our dog. I did a text as if I were Bodie the dog saying, Happy Mother's Day. Thank you so much for how you spoil me with your love, your blueberries, and your carrots. So motherhood is still happening in our house. So happy Mother's Day to everyone. I know that there are many kinds of mothers, and blessings to all the ways that we are mothered. My talk today is called Flow, Flow, Flow Your Boat, and the subtitle, Trust is Not a Dream. Flow, flow, flow your boat. Trust is not a dream. And I want to look at ways that trust has shown up in my life as I've taken different leaps into things, and how the universe just keeps showing up. I know it does for you too, even though sometimes we don't always see it at first. And I do like starting with a little joke, so I have a joke for you. And hopefully you haven't heard it before. This is about two guys on a Sunday afternoon. They're looking for something to do. They live near the coast, and one guy has this little small private airplane. So they decided they're going to fly out over the water, and just for a Sunday afternoon. They're out about an hour, out to sea, and suddenly they have engine trouble. And they have to do a quick emergency landing to find this little desert island, this little strip out in the middle of nowhere. And on the way down, they also realize the radio is broken. They can't call for help, but they get safely on the ground. They're standing, outside the plane, and one guy is super nervous about the whole situation, and the other guy is just so calm. It's like it's not bothering him at all. First guy says, "What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We can't call for help." And the other guy just says, "Just relax. It's going to be fine. Just trust. I'm sure it'll work out." "What do you mean? We have no food. We have no water." "Well, just relax. Just trust. It's going to be fine." "What do you mean trust? What are you talking about?" And the calm guy says, "Well, what you may not know about me is, back home, my investments are doing fantastic. I'm bringing in like $10,000 a week. Who cares? We need food. We need water. What are you talking about?" "Well, maybe you're not getting what I'm saying. I bring in $10,000 a week, and I tithe 10% of that to my Unity church. And I know my minister will find me." Trust. I have a fun experience that happened with me, and it also involves an airplane. I do a lot of travel, a lot of international travel. This time a week ago, I was just getting back from Italy, leading 2 different Italy tours, which was a lot of fun. And in this instance, I was working in Sicily for a 4-day intensive. It was time to get back on the plane and fly home. And I was settling up with the organizer, and she was paying me my fee as I was leaving this event. And as usual, I was submitting my miscellaneous expenses. This time it was $90. However, this time she said, "Well, we're not paying that anymore." I felt like a little sock in the gut, but I didn't want to bite the hand that feeds me. And I heard a voice in my head, and it said, "Just let it go. Let it go. There's a bigger plan afoot. You're always covered. Let it go." So I did. I mean, if you found $90 on the sidewalk, you'd be excited, right? But just let it go. So I thanked her very much, went on my merry way. Had to get to the Palermo airport, short flight to Rome, change planes. I had to get a boarding pass at that time. And so I was standing in line. And one of the things that has been fun for me is I fly so much that American Airlines will sometimes give me a free business class seat for that long 9-hour flight home. And I already had this reserved actually for a month ahead. And so at least I get my cushy seat. So I get in line for my boarding pass at the Rome airport. And there's 6 people in front of me. And so I have to wait a little bit. And it's 45 minutes before departure. I'll be fine, right? So 10 minutes go by. I'm still 6th in line. 10 more minutes and I'm 5th in line. I finally get to talk to the gate agent at the time of departure. It's a big hubbub, like a lot of chaos going on. And she said, "I'm sorry, sir, but your business class seat is no longer available. You didn't get to me fast enough." I was here. Again, kind of a little thing in the stomach. But she said, "However, if you'd if you'd be willing to take a coach seat, we have one in coach on the aisle. And if you'd be willing to take that seat, American Airlines will compensate you with future flight vouchers for future flights on American Airlines in the amount of $3,000. And so I kind of shuffled my feet and said, well, I guess that would be okay. Coach is fine. Had a great flight. I get on the plane. About an hour in, I think, wait, look what happened. Earlier in the day, I heard a voice that said, let go of the $90, you're always covered. There's a bigger plan afoot. A few hours later, I'm letting go of $90 over here and catching $3,000 over here. There is a bigger plan afoot, and I wonder too, about squeezing the garden hose. What if I'd squeezed over here? I wonder if this would have happened. What we bring into our life is what comes back. Of course, Miracle says the cost of giving is receiving, and what we're putting out, we get payback with whatever energy we're putting out. So there is a bigger plan afoot, and this applies to you. Maybe there are places in your life where it's a great set of thoughts. Just let it go. There's a bigger plan afoot. We're always covered. Why don't we do it? I've never done this. Let's do it as an I statement. So I let it go. There's a bigger plan afoot, and I'm always covered. Let's do that. I let it go. There's a bigger plan afoot, and I'm always covered. That's true. And we see it, not always in the moment. Some things take years to show up. Bigger plan afoot, I'm always covered. I used to tour for 7 years with the wonderful author Alan Cohen. A lot of you know his name. We went all over the country and beyond for 7 years. It was my main work from the late 80s to the early 90s. And I remember from the stage, once he invited the audience, let's do this together. Just scroll up your fingers like this and just look around the room through a little pinprick. And what he said was, as you look around the room, of all the things happening in life, this is about how much you can actually see. And then he says, now unfurl your fingers. And he said, and this is what God can see. And the crazy thing is we're busy trying to control everything based on this much information. Isn't that ridiculous? If we don't know, we don't know. And he also said, how many general managers of the universe are in the audience? Can I see a show of hands? Come on. See. Are you ready to resign your role as general manager of the universe based on this much information? That's true. Maybe I let it go. There's a bigger plan afoot. I'm always covered. I wrote a song years ago. It's called In Time. And the lyrics on the chorus kind of speak to this. It says, in time, we see the working out. And we find that there's peace there. In time, we see the working out. And we find that there's peace there. And you've seen this happen where there's some chaos happening in your life. It's like, how's this going to work out? You don't see it. But then as time passes, you see, oh, this led to this, which led to that. You know what I'm talking about? And then you see, oh, that was the reason for that. So you can see it works. So take that principle and apply it to whatever mess you're in this week. In time, we see the working out. This is part of something. We call it divine order. It's not a new concept, but can you really step into it? Can you put your feet on the ground in that concept? Live it, breathe it, know it, trust it. Trust is not a dream. Course in Miracles has a great one-liner. Trust would settle every problem now. Have you heard that one? Trust would settle every problem now. Let's say that together. Trust would settle every problem now. That would go great on your dashboard, on your mirror, on your forehead. Trust would settle every problem now. And I've lived with that phrase since, I guess, for 42 years. Is that possible? And it was only a few years ago I saw a new layer to it. Do you know why trust would settle every problem now? Because as soon as you trust, it's not a problem. As soon as you trust, it's not a problem. You've given it over. Trust would settle every problem now. I have a friend from the first Unity church I was a member of in Houston. I went to a big church in Houston. That's where I got started, getting up on stage, knocking my knees together and singing anyway in my late 20s. And a friend there, we did these big music programs, and so a bunch of us were rehearsing for these things we would put on at the church. And one of my buddies, his name was Springborn. He's one of those one-name people, Cher, Madonna, Springborn. And he was one of these Renaissance men. He was into brain research, architecture, arts, drama. He just did everything, music. And we were standing off to the side when some other people were rehearsing. And he said this phrase that stuck in my mind. I love this line. He said, Charlie, you know what I love doing? I love putting myself out on the leading edge of my ignorance. Isn't that a great line? I love putting myself out on the leading edge of my ignorance. Ignorance is not stupidity. It's just what we don't know yet. Out where on the frontier, on the edges where we haven't gone. That's great. That's where we stretch. And that requires some trust too. The leaps do require trust. If you're always doing what you've always done, where's the growth in that? Where's the energy? Where's the aliveness? So maybe look at some ways that maybe you would like to put yourself out on the leading edge of your ignorance, of what you don't know yet. And know that trust is part of it. Trust, leap, trust, leap, trust. Another quote from A Course in Miracles I think fits this theme is, I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because he who sent me will direct me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because he who sent me will direct me. Sometimes we're called into action. We don't know what we're going to do. A friend called, can you come over? I'm having an emergency. You get in the car. Mission number one is show up. Be there, be present, be available, and then be ready to have it given. What do I need to say, and what needs to happen through me? To listen. How can I be of service? It'll be given. Again, trust, stepping into trust. Be ready. Out on the edge of your ignorance. I love, there's another quote about worry, and this comes from Mark Twain. It's a little bit different twist on worry. He says, I've proven that worrying works. Have you heard this one? Mark Twain, I've proven that worrying works because pretty much everything I ever worried about never happened. I'm going to share another quote. This is from a naturopath friend of mine. And it's not a very spiritual quote necessarily, but I found a way that it really applies to everything. And she said, and changed my life, this one-liner she gave. She said, the body loves circulation. The body loves circulation. And I was looking at some health issues at the time, and what that one line gave me was, I started walking every day. Just breaking a sweat. Just, flush the system through, move the juices. The body loves circulation. It's how we take care of ourselves. So we can be a very sedentary society, can't we? So let's move. And so I started walking. My goal is 10,000 steps a day. I don't always hit it. Most weeks I do. And it took me from about 200 pounds down. I'm down like 20, 25. It's a shift. And it didn't happen all at one point, but it really showed me we can take care of ourselves, and it's important. But I also see a parallel here is that our relationships love circulation. And there's certain ways that we step into things and it requires trust. So a little kind of parallel experience for me, and forgive me if it's graphic, but when I've had the flu in the past, Often you'll find me I'm so overheated, I'll be hugging the tile on the bathroom floor. Has anyone else done that? It's like, he's trying to stay kind of in my body. And usually, my body's telling me it would like to empty the contents of my stomach. But I don't want to go through that experience. And I will hang on for dear life. I'm not going to do it. I don't want to go through it. I don't want to feel, I'm just going to, can I hang on long enough? And if I would just let it go, I'd feel so much better. Do you know that? Do you know that feeling? It's like, why am I resisting this circulation, so to speak? And I think in relationships we have a parallel, which is, and I've seen that in the past, I've been one of these don't rock the boat people in relationships. So if there's some issue, is there some way I can just not talk about it, walk around it, and just never bring it up and never have to deal with it? You know that feeling? It's like when if I would just address it, it would go away. Or at least you'd shine some light, get some air, things that are contained. They can't breathe, they can't just move along, can't circulate, get the circulation going, move it along. And to do that requires trust. To have a real conversation in a relationship does require trust. But here's the nexus of that. Can I trust that our love is greater than any issue that comes up? Trust. And I trust that our love is greater than any issue that comes up. And hopefully the answer is yes. Or else why you're in that relationship. Trust would settle every problem now. Let's breathe. I can feel the room needs to breathe. Our history is emanating from our pores right now, our relationship history. Trust would settle every problem now. Let's say that again. Trust would settle every problem now. As soon as you trust, it's not a problem. There's a bigger plan afoot. I'm always covered. I want to close with, it seems to be a morning of quotes. It's a minister from a church in San Jose. And one morning, I was just doing the music. He was giving a talk in his church. And I love how he opened up. He got up on stage when it was time for his talk. And he said, I have a confession I need to make to you, congregation. So we're all going, oh, sounds like good gossip. And he said, here's my confession. Every Sunday, I've been giving you the same talk. I just had to think of a different way to say it. And said, if I were to boil it down, I'm really just saying three things every Sunday. And I love what these three things were. He said, these are the three things. Everything is God. This includes you. Act accordingly. Everything is God. This includes you. Act accordingly. Isn't that beautiful? We say that together. Let's say it as an I statement. Everything is God. This includes me, and I act accordingly. And I want to hear you Zoom people loud and clear. Ready? Everything is God. This includes me, and I act accordingly. One more time. Everything is God. This includes me, and I act accordingly. So let's kind of lean into that for a second. When we shift to that awareness, to that consciousness, to that sense of life and ourselves, if everything is God, and this includes me, then acting accordingly actually rises above even the need for trust, doesn't it? Like it's built in. If everything is God, this includes me, I'm beyond thinking that anything else needs to happen other than what is. I am divine order. Flow, flow, flow your boat. Trust is not a thing. Thank you very much.
We might as well both stay down here.
Okay.
This is our time of offering. And you brought up the word tithe today.
Imagine that.
Yeah, amazing. There's something to be said about a 10% amount for the tithing, but it's when you give consistently to your spiritual food, where you're being fed, whether it's a smaller percent or 10%, that doing it consistently brings that prosperity to you financially. But there's something magical about 10%. And you know, as I've shared before, our tithing period isn't just about financial support of the church and the community. It's about what you put into out into the universe, whether it's love or whatever it is, what you want more of. Put that energy into our offering basket so that we can bless all those aspects of who we are. So let's share it together with our affirmation. And they change, different churches say different things. So let's do this together. Divine love moving in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. Want to think a little?
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm gonna quickly just mention a couple of things and then I'll sing a quick song. My wife came out with a really great children's book. I have it on the back on the table if you're interested. I also have my music. I have thumb drives. You can get all 18 of my albums for $30 on a thumb drive. That's a pretty good deal. So a great kids book about loving yourself as you are. So you can take a look at that for your kids or grandkids. I mentioned Italy tours. There are a couple of different flyers, one for October, one for November. So a great Italy tour with me. It's like me and 12 people and my guitar. We have a great time. And then in November, there's a retreat in Assisi, plus a little mini tour, if you want to take a look at that. So thanks for joining me at my table. And this song is called Letting It Fly. And it's again about trust, releasing into the process. And let's get you singing. So I'll sing a line and you echo right out there. Letting it go, letting it go, letting it fly, letting it fly. How can you go? If you laugh or cry, laugh or cry, jump in the river, jump in the river of life, river of now you're a it's in your eyes. With your eyes open wide, you are shining inside. And you look the eyes of your soul. It's a choice that you make, really express. And it's all what I say of your soul. Echo with me. When you were young, head in the cloud, you ever nothing would play out. Now that you're and so much you've done, but you never you just begun. With your eyes open wide, you are shining inside, and you look the eyes of your soul. With the choice that you make, will express what you say, and it's all what I say of your soul. Letting it go, letting it fly. There you are. Thank you. Well, bless us. I want to just give a quick announcement after you bless the offering.